weeks now. Okay, you can see last week how price also bounced from that trend line, or 2 weeks ago rather. Okay, and last week too, price also bounced off this trend line, closing with this bullish engulfing candle. In a way, I would have entered here. Okay, I would have entered here, okay, and put my stops below these trend lines and target my next level, which is still a very nice 1:2. I'm FX right here, the prophetic analyst. Welcome back to my channel. So this is the usual weekly market forecast for the week of the 29th to the 1st of August, which is also the last week, and we have Friday the 1st of August as the first trading week day and week of August. So we could say happy new month too. And another big shout out to you guys. Last week was my birthday, or the 25th was my birthday, which I also appreciate the wishes, the kind words, and all. Okay, I also gave some discount in which I gave to you guys, which most of you also took opportunity of it. And let's see how we can do more together. Okay, so we come here every week in, week out, to predict 500 to 1,000 pips into the future, in which that is what we are also going to do. And before further ado, before we get into this PC, we should also discover that 60 to 80% of you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel. So if you are not yet subscribed, please do to smash the subscribe button, like, share, and drop a comment on the comment section. Okay, so this week we are starting off with gold. For gold, just like you guys can see, for last week we had a very nice bullish week for us. Just like I said on gold, when we have price started, or when price started, we saw price giving us our pushes, or that bullishness on gold all the way to the upside. So I also told you guys that we could take a bullish continuations from this area on, that was Saturday, Sunday, and we should be targeting these next levels of the 3447, which was this resistance all the way up here. So we can see how price got to that area and started dropping all the way to the downside. Okay, so price most likely has still been bouncing off these trend lines, in which we have been having here for the longest of time. Okay, and currently, as you can also see, it seems, okay, though it's not yet confirmed, okay, it seems that price has broken through this trend line. It has actually, from the clay charts, okay, it has actually broken out of the trend line, okay, and also closed, but we are yet to have price clearing structure. Okay, that's why I say we work with market structure too. Okay, not just the break of the trend line, but also clearing structure. So what do we do in this case? In a case like this, all just what we have to do is, I'm going to extend this like so. Okay, so before we get over to knowing the directional bias, let's look at the weekly time frame, how price actually closed for last week and how price is actually looking on the weekly time frame. Okay, so here on gold, we can see for last week how price closed with this particular doji kind of candle. You may call it a hammer, a shooting star, whatever you may call it, which is also identified as a reversal candlesticks. Okay, so this week, which is actually the last week of the month, and Friday as the first day of the month, which is also NFP, guys. Okay, so this week we should be kind of careful on trading decisions in which we take also this week. Okay, we made a lot of money last week. We sent a lot of signals for the past few weeks. Since this month, we have been always closing the week in profit, and we haven't hit stop loss in the past 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks of sending signals on our free Telegram community and even on our VIP community too. So we have been sending signals, and all TPs are always smashed in full too. Okay, so moving forward, so we can see how price closed with this candle right about there. So we can now go back to the daily time frames. Okay, let's stop there at the daily time frame. So without further ado, we could just look for either price. I'll go for the bearish side of things. I'll tell you guys why, because I'm seeing something may happen on the DXY. Okay, so we have this new daily area of interest, which I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to clone that like so. and I bring it all the way down here. So this new daily AOI, so we should be targeting our next zones, which is our 3242 rather 3242 zones to the downside, and to the bullish side we would be patient once again. You should be patient once again for price to come back to these zones. We have to be very careful with gold, okay? So seeing what gold is actually doing, and also to supporting the bearish projections of things on gold. Most likely, why are we saying so? Because if we look at here on the daily time frame, you see we have more than a triple top. Okay, 1 2 3 4 times. Price has been creating double tops or 4 tops above for us. Okay, so that's it for the bullishness and the bearishness on XAUSD. So do want to mark this on your phone, your PC, or your trading device. Up next is the DXY. So price is quite seated on our area of interest, looking left, and our moving average is also close to that zone right about now. So we are looking for more bearishness to the downside. For my mentees, if we go down to the lower time frames, you can see what we call our divergence too all around the zones. Okay, so we are still very much bearish. Okay, nothing has really changed. Okay, we are still very much bearish for price to give us that sales from that zone. Welcome back. So you guys can see how we predicted the DXY into precision. For last week, we had these zones right about here, which we had these areas of interest looking left, in which price reacted previously, and we also had this trend line and this moving average, in which we used for looking for the bearishness continuations to the downsides for DXY. So this was also one of the reasons in which we were able to smash a lot of take profits during the last few weeks. And also, if you also observe, this is also the same image in which I use for our thumbnail. That's why I always say there are a lot of informations embedded on our thumbnail, so you can always make sure you look at our thumbnail. That will be most likely the trade, our kind of A setups in which we are using, because the DXY, if we were right with this DXY, okay, you most likely also see how you'll be trading several other pairs, between 7 to 8 different pairs, in which is being correlated or inversely correlated with the DXY. Okay, so moving forward on the DXY, things still looks very bearish. Why is this so? Because price is giving us series of lower lows, lower highs, and we are looking for price to continue that way. Okay, but we must have a slight change in things. Okay, why is this so? Let's look at the weekly time frame to see how price actually closed. So for the weekly time frame, we see prices closing with this bearish candle all the way to the downsides. But also, if we look deeply, you see we have something here that looks like a divergence. And also, if you look at the RSI below here, you also have a divergence that came all the way from the left hand side right about there. Okay, so I'm now being slightly skeptical, because it also falls with the end of the month and the first week of the month, because during this period price tends to change directions or continue on its main direction. Okay, high impact moves really happens during this period, especially at the beginning of the new month. So we'll also be having NFP on Friday, so a lot of move may be happening after this week's. Okay, we may have some ranging till NFP. After NFP, price would now decide on the directional bias in which it means to go. Okay, so moving forward, let's go back to our daily time frame. Okay, let's keep it at the daily time frame, so to reduce the noise of things. So here on the daily time frame, we are still very much between these zones of the 98.269 and these zones of the 97.101. Okay, so for bearish continuations, okay, we should be seeing price break and retest, which it has happened, and the continuations to 95.632. okay, I'm not swinging any further trades because I'm perceiving reversals of things. Okay, So I'm not swinging trades for now until we can find new entries after price has decided on its directional bias. So for the bearishness, we should be looking for price to hit to 95.632, which is right about the zones. And for the bullishness, we should be seeing price, we have to be patient for price to break here, retest, and a push continuation to a 99.837. okay, right about there. Okay, so that would be our next level target for the bullishness and bearishness of things on the DXY. Up next is Euro USD. This is quite seated on our daily area of interest. Okay, looking left, okay, we can see price bouncing off that zones like so multiple times. So we are, like I said, we are already holding this buys Euro USD. It was on Friday. Like last week was very profitable for us, okay, but we still had to. This trade was awesome. Why did I still take this trade on Friday after having a profitable week? It was because there is a way market open most times and it's most likely in your favor. Okay, if you're a swing trader, you understand this. Apart from spread and the rest, okay, there's a way markets may now open on the coming days and it should open with a gap. Okay, instead of starting from somewhere here, you may just see market open like from this resistance or somewhere in this trend line and start going, and all of this would be a gap. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why I had to take this trade. Hopefully market opens, volatility that comes with it would most likely favor us. Okay, so that's why we are currently on this Euro USD bullishness to the upside, which you guys can see. For Euro USD, we can see for last week price closed with this bullish engulfing candle. Okay, and our targets were still all the way, let's go here, we're still all the way at the 1.1904, okay, to the upsides, but price did not get to those areas before we had little pullbacks. So let's go to our daily time frame, okay, to see how price actually moved for last week. So for last week, you guys can remember I made mention of these zones, okay, of these zones in which we wanted price to come into these zones before bullish continuations, and we can see how well price also respected that area and gave us a very nice bullish projections to the upside. So that's why you see this is also one of the reasons which I told you guys I was swinging these trades from last week. Okay, I had to take that trade on Friday evening and hold it throughout the weekend, even till I think Monday or Tuesday. I added more entries all the way to the upsides, which I also sent signals on our general community, which a lot of people also made money, so which I'm going to add somewhere around in this video for you guys to see. And not just that, we were also able to take some bearish, some sales there also on Friday too. When I saw this sales confirmations, I took this quick sell retracement here, and we also made a lot of money. So like I told you guys, we are on a winning streak for the month of July, which is about finishing. We have been on a good winning streak, so that's why you should be on a free Telegram community or even our VIP, and also register for our mentorship, which goes for $200 now. Okay, if you could not make it during the discount during my birthday discounting, which I gave a discount on the mentorship, you have to get it at the original price of $200 right now. Classes for our August batch is gonna start pretty soon, I think like in a week or two, so make yourself available for that. So moving forward for Euro USD, okay, due to market structure or market structure wise, we are still very much bullish. As you can see, we're still very much bullish, and price is currently on that trend lines all the way up here. So let's go to the hourly time frame to see how well we can decipher this for us. Okay, so we have some zones here on the hourly time frame, which I'm going to mark out very easy. Okay, I'm going to mark out these zones. Let's keep it this way, and let's keep it this way, like so. Okay, so we have these upper zones of the 1.176 and these lower zones of the 1.169 or 68 thereabout. So for bullish continuations, it will only make sense for you to wait for these minor levels to break, retest, and you can now continue bullish all the way to the 1.190 to the upsides, or you can go bearish. If price goes bearish, you go break, retest on the 1.169, and a push continuations to our next zones. Like you know, we trade from zones to zones, okay, from one zone to the other. Let me take this out. Okay, from one zone to the other. So first zone is a 1.163, then we can go as deep as a 1.15722. okay, so that will be it for the bullish and bearish sides of things. Like I said, you can see how the DXY is moving, but we are going to make a lot of sense out of this from after NFP, and we'll see how next week goes. Okay, up next is GBPUSD. As with the zones in which we marked out, which is the 1.3433 area. Okay, so we are now looking forward for price to open with bullish continuations. Right now you can also see the price is seated on the trend line in which we are having from all the way down here. Okay, so price is quite seated on that zone. So market open London session would determine price direction, so hopefully that also favors us. And so you can see how we predicted GBPUSD into precision. So for last week, you can see GBPUSD, we had some sells to buy scenarios, which I also predicted it, and I also sent signals. I told you guys I took Euro USD, GBP USD, USDCHF, and I held them throughout the weekend. Okay, so that's why I also sent the signals out to you guys, which I'm going to add it somewhere around here. And during the week too, we also had some few signals in which I also sent inside here, which everything smashed take profit, and we were all bullish just like anticipated. Okay, so moving forward, and also you can see these green areas. This was also the same thumbnail in which I used 2 weeks ago. So like I always say, look out for a thumbnail real good, and always pay attention to see how you can make the best out of it from our thumbnails. Okay, so for this week's, let's see how last week candle actually closed for last week. Okay, so we can see price has been on series of highs. Okay, has been on a series of bullish trends. Okay, creating series of higher highs, higher lows, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Okay, so price is right now back to our trend lines. Okay, even after it had moved from there, but it seems like price is back to the trend lines. So let's go back to our daily time frame to see how we can sort things out from here. So from our daily time frame of things, you can see GBPUSD. Okay, we have these zones. Okay, so I'm going to mark out 2 zones. Let me shift this like so, shift this a little bit, most likely take this out. Okay, so we'll be working with these 2 daily areas of interest. Price has now created a new daily area of interest, which is the lower zones of the 1.34323, and another zone of the 1.3605. okay, so for the bullish side of things, let's keep it bullish because we are still very much bullish until price clears these zones. Okay, so for the bullish side of things, we'll be patient for price to break here, retest, and first level target 1.37454, and next level target 1.3830. okay, and for the bearish side of things, which we have seen price countless times reacting off these trend lines countless times, and I think the trend line is all the way exhausting, just like we saw on Euro USD. The trend line is more like exhausting, so we may have some sort of bearishness. Okay, we may have some sort of bearishness on GBPUSD henceforth. So break, retest, and our target would be the 1.31692 all the way to the downside. Okay, so like I said, all trades have been closed. I'm not swinging any trades, and because I'm most likely seeing reversals on price. Okay, but we'll keep our fingers crossed and see what price happens or do during the week and during NFP. And also, if you look at this deeper, you see that this is a very clear chart pattern. Okay, this looks like a very nice head and shoulder for us. Okay, you can see the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder, and this makes it the neckline. Okay, the 1.34323 makes it the neckline. So if price breaks this level, we should be seeing our next level target as 1.31692, and we can even go as deep as 1.30390. Okay, I will be most likely favoring the downside of things. And also, if you look at the DXY, you also see some sort of inverse head and shoulders too forming on the DXY. Okay, though it has not finished forming right about now. Okay, it has not finished forming yet. Okay, if you also look at the DXY, I forgot to mention that you can also see it seems like price is doing something like a head and shoulder. So you can see left head, right shoulder. Okay, but we'll keep that in review until after NFP or during the week. If anything changes, we'll let you guys know. So that's it for GBP USD. Up next is USD CHF. So our daily time frame, we're looking for a buy to sell scenarios. Okay, so we're targeting price to come to these areas of interest, but if these areas of interest and having a massive drop to the downside. And we had also sent on same Friday, we also sent USD CHF signals too, okay, which are currently in profit all the way to the downside. So we will still be very much bearish on USD CHF. You can see how we predicted USD CHF into precision. We had same levels in which we're looking for, which is also our daily area of interest. Like I said, looking left, you can see how our daily areas of interest are very strong and proactive. So this is the reasons why it's very important to trade off zones. Okay, this is the importance of trading off zones, and we had a very nice trading which I held since last week Friday all the way to the downsides, and price has been super bearish. Okay, price has been super bearish for us, and we had a very great week or great month of July. Okay, so moving forward for this coming week, so which I'm going to add the videos or the clips somewhere around in this video signals which will also be sent. So if you're not in our free Telegram community, do want to join our free Telegram community. So moving forward for this week, I'm going to give you guys bullish and bearish scenarios, because anything could happen from where price currently is. Okay, so we have these other zones and this minor zone right about here, these two zones, the upper zone and the lower zones right about here. So all what you just need to do is go to your lower time frames, look for the break retest, look for your trading confirmations. When I speak of break retest, I don't just mean only break and retest. There are other trading confirmations in which you use to trade, maybe your order blocks, your moving averages, your support and resistance, whatever trading strategy, your liquidity, your fair value gaps. Look for them around the zones. Okay, so if you see these confirmations, you can take your buys from here, and your next level target should be the 0.80610 to the upsides. Okay, and if the bullish side does not hold, you just be patient, a little bit patient for price to clear the levels of the 0.76908 to the downsides, and you should be targeting, let's see if you can find a zone all the way left. It's quite far, so you can just go for your 1:2, 1:3 all the way to the downsides, maybe to like a round number of 0.779000 to the downsides. Okay, so that's it for USD CHF. Up next is USD CAD. Welcome back. So you can see how we predicted USD JPY into precision. We had some nice trade calls which we also sent on USD JPY on our community, which a lot of people also made money, which I'm also going to add it somewhere around in this video. So we had some nice trades with smash take profit, and we also send the signals out. So all what we, without wasting much of the time, we'll go back to the daily time frame. Okay, we'll go back to the daily time frame. Okay, let's check the weekly time frame first. Okay, so we can see we had 2 weeks of bullishness. This last week is bearish, so we go back to the daily time frames. Let's mark out our zones. Okay, so almost same thing is also happening on USD JPY. So we could see our upper zones and our lower zones like so. Okay, these two zones, we are only interested in trading between these two zones. So for the bullish side, which is what I'm anticipating, price will break retest here, then we should be targeting our next level. So looking left, our next resistance is somewhere around here, which is the 151. okay, areas. And if price goes bearish, we should be looking at price giving us break retest, and we should target the next support, okay, the next support area, which I'm going to mark out right about here, like so, which is the 142 areas. Okay, so that'll be it for this week, guys. If you're not yet subscribed, smash the subscribe button, like, share, and drop a comment on the comment section. And once again, thank you for celebrating my birthday with me last week, and we hope to doing good things or great things for you guys. And also, if you're interested in learning from the prophetic analyst himself, you can also cook our mentorship in for just $200, which we are about starting mentorship pretty soon, I think in a week or two. So you should book your spots. We only have 3 slots left for this batch of August for the mentorship. Okay, so that'll be it for this week, and always remember to plan your trades and trade your plan. See you guys on the inner circle. Cheers.